Alright, truth and love, everybody. It's Krista Elora here with Learning Thyself podcast, and I'm here to tell you things that I'm learning about myself in confidence that it'll help you along your journey. And sometimes I got messages. Alright, just to give you a heads up, I do curse on my podcast. If you don't like that, you can exit stage left. I do talk about things. I do talk about things that can be very triggersome. I will sometimes say trigger warning. Sometimes I might not. Sometimes I just be rattling off. So if this is not for you, then please continue moving. There's plenty of other beautiful podcasts out there with plenty of other beautiful messages. All right. But on here, I be keeping it dead ass real. Okay, I'm just not holding back. I'm not at school, I'm not at church, I'm not at the doctor's office, I'm not in the grocery aisle, I'm not here to be quiet and quote unquote obedient in anybody else's eyes. So if you cool with that, then continue to listen to this podcast, okay? So, with that being said, it's been a while. I think it's been about a year since I've made any podcast clips on Anchor.fm. Shout out to Anchor.fm. And shout out to anybody who has tuned in to Anchor.fm to hear what I had to say. I appreciate the listens. All right. I have made some videos since. You know what I'm saying? Like I've made some videos on YouTube, on Learning Thyself podcast on YouTube, which I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep that up for. So I'm just going to hop right into it. And I'll give you a little bit of the reasons why it's been a while, why I've been inconsistent, and how I'm preventing myself from ever being inconsistent ever again, because fuck that shit. Okay? As of lately, I have been telling people to learn to express before you explain. I'm going to say that again. Learn to express before you explain. And I'm going to break that down a little bit. When I was growing up, I was loud. I had a lot to say. I had a lot on my mind. I had a lot on my heart. The amount of energy I had was so much. I really couldn't contain it. So I expressed myself by way of art. I expressed myself by way of poetry. I sang. I rapped. You know what I'm saying? I journaled. I ran. You know what I'm saying? I was very athletic. I was out there climbing trees, hopping over shit. You know what I'm saying? I found ways to express myself all the time. And I didn't care who you were. I didn't care what the hell you looked like. I didn't care what your status was. I was gonna express myself, and I didn't care about how I looked. I didn't care about the ugly faces I would make when I would express myself. I didn't care about the mistakes, the quote unquote mistakes I had made while expressing myself. I didn't care what looked wrong or what looked right when I expressed myself. I just expressed myself, and that was it. And anything that might have needed explaining later, I would explain it. Right? So for a long time, that's how I was. And before I hop into the rest of this, I'm not here to play the blame game, and I'm not here to be a victim. I'm just here to explain some of the stuff that I went through. I might have been victimized at the time. That doesn't mean I'm speaking like a victim now. But I'll tell you this. between friends, family, co-workers, school, anything systematic, church, all that shit. After a while, I really got beat the fuck down. And I think what hit me the worst out of everything, um, besides lack of support where I needed support the most, was that fucked up mental health system. You know what I'm saying? That really shut me down in places where I shouldn't have been shut down. You know, the way I expressed myself. You know what I'm saying? Therapists, psychologists, anger management class, everybody always wanted me to explain why I do things the way I do. You know what I'm saying? Why you do this, and you know why you do it like that, and there was always such a heavy amount of judgment. I don't even want to say judgment because I don't think it's wrong to judge. What I will say is there was a heavy amount of shaming and a heavy amount of judging by way of slamming the gavel before you got to really know what was going on. And so, you know, I was still expressing myself, but I realized I started to explain myself before expressing. You know, because I no longer wanted to look a certain way to people, places, and things outside of myself, because I was taught that it was bad, you know, or if I did things a certain way, if I said things or looked at things a certain way, that it was problematic, or that it needed to be diagnosed, or that I needed to be punished somehow. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this proudly because even though that shit sucked, I found a way to break through it. Doesn't matter. I'm 34 years old now, and I've been trying to put myself out there for a very long time. And I ended up allowing things to stop me. I ended up allowing people, places, and things to stop me because I was taught that either what I was saying, that my truths were lies to people who did not want to believe me, that what I was saying was too harsh, or it was too deep, or it somehow, some way was too much, and whatever seemed excessive to everybody else, they wanted to find a way to take that excess and wrap it around their logical minds with either a diagnosis or a label of some sort so that they could finally understand it. And some of them just didn't even want to do that. Some of them just straight up wanted to shut me the fuck down. And unfortunately, over time, I got beat down by the system, and I allowed people, places, and things outside of me to shut me down. And I allowed them to beat me down so bad that I started to believe. It's almost like having Stockholm syndrome to the system, where you really start to not only believe what the system is teaching you, but you start to stand up for the system. And to an extent, I was most definitely doing that, whether I was realizing it or not. And so I came to this conclusion during this Lionsgate portal, and maybe even a little bit before that. It really smacked me really hard, where it's like, yo, I know I'm the type of person to practice what I preach, but I did, and I do always, to an extent, understand that as long as I'm coming from my heart space, whatever messages that I have for other people is a message that I have for myself. I know that when I'm talking to other people, I'm talking to myself. You see what I'm saying? And I just didn't fucking realize that I was explaining myself before I was expressing myself. And I'll tell you how I tricked myself thinking that I was really out here doing what I was meant to be doing, right? So all this time between um, all the juggling that I've been doing with my entrepreneurial work, it's not really out there like that. There's so much that I'm juggling and by myself, right? And when I was doing when I started learning thyself, I already had out my book, The Hidden Phoenix, Emerging from Adverse Ashes. Go check that out on Amazon. I got the paperback and I got the ebook. I'll get more into that later, but I always knew that telling my story was going to be pivotal, not just for me, but for other people. And that me telling my story and talking about the things I've learned was a way of me communicating and doing alchemy work. You know what I'm saying? Where, I would talk about this kind of trauma or that kind of thing that I went through, but then talk about the bright side and what I was able to learn from that. Where I would talk about the darkness and then I would go to the light. And there's been plenty of people out there that said, thank you for telling your story. This really helped, that really helped, whatever. And I'm very grateful for whoever I was able to help. But what I started to realize as of late was that all of my ways of being spiritually quirky or being psychic or being outer worldly with my thoughts and my feelings and the things that I had the abilities to do, I felt like, unknowingly, I had to put my story out there to explain myself and explain my next move. Whether I was going to tell you about that next move or not, I was putting myself out there no longer to help people, but really just to validate the big shit that I was about to do. Because there was a part of me that was still lacking a sense of self-worth. There was a part of me that allowed the system to cover up my sense of self-worth with their diagnosis and their shame and their judging and all that. And so when I was putting myself out there consciously, I was saying to myself, well, I'm going to put this out there because I really want to help people. But I always felt like what I was here to do was going to be so major and so big that it needed an explanation. You know what I'm saying? That I was kind of beating around the bush while putting myself out there, and I didn't really know that. I didn't really realize that. And it full circles back to when I was growing up. My energy was just so huge. There wasn't anything that I couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? I was taught that I can do anything I put my mind to, and I fucking took that shit seriously. And so when I would go and play drums, but I did it without reading notes. I didn't even tell nobody that I couldn't read notes. I just fucking played. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, try to brag or show off. I just went out on the field and did my thing. Or even younger, even before I even did marching band or whatever, I always knew that I could play drums. And there was a kid behind me. I'm like, yeah, I know I can play. He's like, you're not in the band. You don't know how to play. Because the only way he knew how to play was by getting trained. The way I knew how to play was by remembering who the fuck I was and going from my heart space. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my energy was just so large. Like, I think that's a perfect word to use, large. And people were very intimidated by it. People were very envious of it. I didn't know I just wanted to share myself with people. I just wanted to share my experiences and things that I was able to do and say, hey, you can do this shit too. You know, I was always here to encourage people, show people love, say, yo, you can do it, let's go. But because they chose to believe that they couldn't do it, they wanted a piece of me, they wanted a piece of what I had. And after a while, because, you know, I needed love, I needed support, I you know, whether I wanted to admit it at the time or not, I wanted friends around, I wanted family, I wanted a sense of some sort of family that was gonna love and support and nourish and nurture the things that I was doing. And you know, I fell for the shit that they were teaching me. I fell for the diagnoses. I fell for the labeling after a while. You know what I'm saying? There was certain things I just didn't cave into. But there was definitely some things that I most definitely caved in, and that's where my energy ended up going. It ended up feeding everybody else's belief systems so that they can feel equal with me, so that they wouldn't have to feel weird being around my energy and wouldn't have to act extra around me. You know what I'm saying? And so the largeness of my ideas and my entrepreneurship and everything that I've been wanting to put out there for so long is so huge, is so vast, is so beyond this earth, that I felt like I had to explain myself. It's almost like I was asking permission from the system and people, places, and things outside of myself. It's like I was asking permission to do my mission. And here and now, I'm not fucking doing that shit anymore. That was never me. That was never me. Fuck all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, as I continue to work on my chakras, do reflection work, past life work, all that. I had to work on a lot of work when it comes to shame, when it came to guilt, when it came to fear, grieving, all that. I had to work on all that, but it was specifically shame. And I allowed other people to dim my light and try to throw dirt on my fire. And I'm gonna say this as a side note. We are in the Lionsgate right now. I can't give you too much information on that, if any, because all I know is that it's a major portal. I think it's from whenever Leo season starts. So maybe the 26th of July, something like that. And 8/8 is like the biggest day of the portal. It's about infinity. It's about continuing. You know what I'm saying? It's about abundance. And so, when it comes to lions are the most courageous of the jungle. You know, lions have the most courage, have the most heart. And Leo's is a fire sign. We're going through a fire sign period right now. That solar plexus chakra, I'm here to let you know, that is where the shame is honed in. When your solar plexus chakra is imbalanced, if it's overbalanced, there's too much fire. You're gonna set everything on fire. When it's underbalanced, that means you might got some work when it comes to do with yourself. When it comes to shame, who has shamed you in your life, and when did you start shaming yourself? You know, the color of that chakra is yellow. By the way, I am wearing yellow if you are not watching my videos right now. But That's just a side note. You know, that is a chakra that I had to work on for a very long time. And I'm back. I'm back in my shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very grateful. If you're listening to this right now, thank you. I love you so much. Okay? If you're a hater listening to this right now, you can lick the top of my ass crack. That's what you can do. Because you ain't going to last long. I'll tell you that. I got a lot of haters out there on some real shit. And that's going to be for another time where I will address that. But, you know, that's the reason. That's one of the biggest reasons why I stepped back, you know. And real quickly, you know, another reason why I stepped back was because there was times, to be 100% honest, there was times where I wasn't practicing what I was preaching. I would preach it and I would say to myself, like, damn, like, I've been doing this work, I've been doing that work, you know, why is shit not working out for me, yada yada yada. I got all this courage to put myself out there and you know, meditate, go inside myself and gain the gems, you know, aka my wisdom, to share with you guys, you know, where's this and where's that, you know. And I realized I was resting on my laurels. I really was. For the longest time, my innate wisdom, my innate ability to be able to see things from a very wise perspective has always helped me out. It has always not only been able to help me out, but I've been able to help out other people very abundantly. You know, I was giving advice when I was 12 years old to people who were 10 years older than me. I was always like that. The problem was is that I rested on my laurels, and I'm gonna talk about that. I have a whole thing on that. So that's gonna be for another episode. So I fell. I most definitely fell, you know, and I got lazy, which in my opinion, laziness is nothing more than being comfortable in your fear. All right. So yeah, all this to say is that I'm fucking back. I'm doing what I love to do, and ain't nobody gonna fucking stop me. You know, I can say I can blame shit on enemies all I want, but I fully understand that I am my own biggest enemy. And so I had to continue to find ways to defeat that in order for me to continue to move on. And anybody that was reflecting the part of me that was an enemy, as long as I continue to Kalima my damn self, then they're going to fall off. They're going to be very reluctant, they're going to be very resistant, but they're going to fall off with confidence. You know what I'm saying? I swing my sword with confidence. So before I head out, please, I don't even like saying please, go check out a few things that I got going on. You can check out Learning Thyself podcast on my YouTube. All right, just type in Learning Thyself podcast. I'll pop right up. You can subscribe there. Like I said, I don't know how long I'm keeping that up there for, because there's a lot that I'm committed to. Because I do have a Patreon, Learning Thyself. And there's a lot that I'm going to be offering on there. I'm extremely excited about that. But that's not up yet, you know what I'm saying? So check out the YouTube for now. I got that. I got arisingphoenix.org. Okay? arisingphoenix.org. Okay? It's a business that I created a couple years ago, but I'm now ready to launch that shit off. I got you know, it's not, people aren't flooding into this shit yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been juggling everything by myself to set everything up the way I want it to be set up, so that everything can fall into place. OnArisingPhoenix.org is a business that involves the medicine of honesty. I believe honesty is such an unspoken medicine, and despite, I'll never take away from these things, I'll never take away from meditation. I'll never take away from ayahuasca and shrooms and smoking and all that. I'll never take away from anything that can help you to realize who you truly are. But that realization isn't truly going to come to life if you are not going to be honest with yourself. You can have the most beautiful realizations about who you are, but if you're dishonest with yourself, you're going to go back and pour your energy of your actions into your false identity. Okay? And we do that in so many different ways. So I have writing classes on there. I have a meditation class. I have an open mic. That's going to be every Wednesday. It's called What You Got Wednesdays. You can do comedy, you can do rap, you can sing, whatever, for the most part, as long as it's original. All right. I have a Phoenix workout in which I'm actually doing a presentation on that, the 10th of August at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. All right. I'm going to find a way to put that all on Zoom. If not, then I'm most definitely gonna record what I'm doing and post it on my website. So I got some things to offer, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to help out, if you want to volunteer, if you want to run a class, please let me know. All right, you can hit me up at arisingphoenix11@gmail.com. Another thing you can check out is The Hidden Phoenix, Emerging from Adverse Ashes. It is a very small poetry book. You can buy the paperback version, which is $11.11, or you can get the ebook version, which is $7.77. If you have Kindle, you can download it for free. So please go check that out. It's like I said, it's a small poetry book, and it's not just a current me putting poetry out there. It is also the voice of my childhood self, the one that never got to speak up about the things that she wanted to speak up about. All right, and I have plenty of other books on the way. It's all within my juggle. I do have TikTok. You can check me out at Krista Elora on TikTok. I think I'll keep the TikTok up for now, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting a decent amount of views on there, and the more I can put myself out, the better. I also have a Rising Phoenix 11 Instagram, and I am going to be hopping back on Instagram when it comes to Learning Thyself podcast. So I'm juggling a lot of shit. And I got so much more. I got music. I got beats. You know what I'm saying? I got more poetry. I got so much shit that I'm doing, and I'm putting on myself out there. And I'm not even talking about my psychic abilities. This is just the earthly shit, and I'm just getting started. You know what I'm saying? So I'm crazy excited. This here is just. I feel good doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna put every link I need to put down below on the video if you're watching this. And I don't know how to. I should be able to find a way to put my links in my bio or something on Anchor.fm. All right, so. Like I said, thank you so much, guys, for listening. For those of you who stopped by and really want to show me love, and if you want to donate, let me look this up really quick. If you want to donate to anything that I got going on, you can donate at 11 Arising Phoenix 11 on my Cash App. Okay. I know it's a lot. Yes, I most definitely know it's a lot because I'm juggling all the shit. You know what I'm saying? But here I am. You know what I'm saying? Coming back in my full authentic self, and I'm gonna continue to grow and share with you guys because, in all honesty, I have always wanted the best for other people. I have always been genuinely happy for other people, excited for other people, and now it's my fucking turn. Now it's my turn to grab my abundance. Now it's my turn to do me and get mines. You know what I'm saying? It's my turn to do me and get mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just talking about money. I'm not talking about fame. I'm talking about doing what the fuck I love to do without anything inside of me or outside of me fucking stopping me. All right? This is about freedom. When you do what you love to do, it's all about freedom. And that's called getting mines. You know what I'm saying? So I love you, and I'm be seeing you soon. Peace.